Hey you guys, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Sarah, welcome if you're new here, and today I'm going to be talking about my Hoya collection. Now, it is not huge, but I have a handful, so let's get right to it. First up on my list is this beauty, and this one right here I have never seen in person, and honestly I didn't even know what it was. I did just recently pick this one up from Lowe's. The leaves are so cool. This feels like a really soft cardboard, and it's trailing and it's shooting out some new babies. Soft cardboard does not do it good. I don't know, it's just a different type feel. So I did put it out there on my Instagram stories, and I did get quite a few messages, so thank you if you're one of the people who messaged me. But Alyssa from Alyssa's Planty Things, go ahead and check out her YouTube channel, was the first person to send me what I believe is the correct identification of this plant. If I remember correctly, she told me this one was a bibliata. Okay, now I'm probably saying that completely wrong. I might have to pull my messages up. And I believe she said it was a DS70, and that this one has identity issues. Just call it a bibliata. So that's what I'm gonna call it, and do not quote me because I guarantee you I'm saying it completely wrong. But you know, this one is just the plant that I can't say the name to. So here's the plant that I can't say the name to. Yeah, I love this one because I really don't have anything else like this in my collection, and this was one of the smaller containers, and this one was $10.98, and I'm really happy with it. I do currently have it hanging up here behind me in my bedroom. My bedroom is basically a place where plants go to die. So with that being said, I don't know if he's gonna like it right here, but I'm leaving him here for now because all my plants that are on my porch are probably gonna have to either come inside or I'm gonna have to run a heater out there. I'm not exactly sure. So new plants are going inside just because winter's coming. But I have 5 plants hanging up here, and 4 of the 5 are Hoyas. So I think he'll do okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the next one. Okay, so next up I have this Hoya Tricolor, or otherwise known as Crimson Princess. Now the one that I have outside is ginormous. It's so happy, it's doing really well, so I'm hoping this guy will do the same. This one is a little bit dirty, but I did pick him up. I actually picked him up second. I got the other plant, the name I can't say, first. Then on the second day I went back to work, I went back and got this because it is kind of rare to come across a Hoya at a Lowe's or Home Depot that isn't overwatered or has some type of bugs. Now there has been many times that I've came across a plant that I want, and I go to digging in the soil and examining it and realize that it does have, like, thrips or spider mites or some type of bugs. So these must have probably just recently came off the truck, and that's why they didn't have bugs, but I'll take it. But yeah, so this one is so easy to take care of. I do not worry about it being a little bit beat up. It will, it'll grow and flourish in my care, hopefully. And yeah, I have a huge one outside, but I'll take you outside and show you that one in just a little bit. Let me finish showing you the other Hoyas that I have in here. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. Whew. See if I can hang this thing. Oh god, I seriously almost just dropped it. And it would be my luck that I, spill dirt all over my white couch. Okay, so next up I have this Hoya Chelsea, and this one honestly is probably my favorite Hoya just because it's grown so much for me. Let me show you. Look at how beautiful, and do you see how long these little tendrils are, I guess you could say. This one at first I kind of thought that it was maybe a crinkle 8 just because the way the leaves do have some kind of crinkly little bits to it. But once I did a little bit more research, I realized that this one was the Chelsea, and it has seriously doubled in size since I got it. And this one I did actually find at Lowe's. It's been a long time ago, so it's the bigger basket, which I think those are like $15.98. Basically what will happen is a huge long vine comes out. They're sort of little, you can kind of see like little nodey type areas on the stem. Then the leaves come out. So don't be alarmed that if your Hoya has a long vine with no leaves, it will put the vine out first, then push out the leaves. But yeah, I basically just wait until this guy looks kind of droopy and his leaves feel soft. They're very succulent like, and you can tell by just touching them. I can tell when it needs water if it feels too soft, and that's when I water them. And sometimes I go for a while and not water this guy, like 2 weeks or maybe a little more. I think I went a little more the last time, but I did just recently water him, so he's nice and heavy. And yeah, they don't take much care. I do have him right here in front of this window. He's not getting burnt, but he is growing so much. And if you have a chance to get your hands on a Hoya Chelsea, do it, because I'm telling you, they're so easy to care for and they grow like crazy. I do want a crinkle 8, but that's on my wish list along with a few others. But I happened to get my hands on this one and I am so happy I did. And it's just lovely and beautiful and perfect right here in front of my window. Okay, you guys, so next up I have this giant Hoya Cardosa compacta, or otherwise known as Hindu rope. This one I actually have kind of a funny story to. I came across this when I first started plant collecting at the Home Depot, and I don't know if you're like me, but I have buyer's regret. Every single time I go plant shopping, and if there's something that I really want and I don't get it, I have regret, and I promise you I will think about it non-stop for days and days and days until I have a chance to go back and check. That's what happened with this one. So this one was in really bad shape. There was tons of little arms coming out that were completely brown. So that's why I didn't get it the first time. And honestly, I was new to plant collecting and I didn't know that it was really hard to come across these. This Home Depot is not near my house at all. So 2 weeks later, I went back and it was still there. I cannot believe it. And I said, screw it, I'm just gonna buy it anyways. Even if it's not doing so good, I'll nurse it back to health. So when I got up to the register, I asked the lady up there, you know, it clearly had a bunch of browning leaves, and it was just the drop leaves that were down in the soil that needed to be plucked out. That kind of made it look worse than what it was. And she gave it to me for 50% off. And so if I remember correctly, I do believe that I paid around $8 for this, and it has honestly grown so much. I did pot it up in this terracotta as soon as I got home, and I trimmed it. I probably overly trimmed it, but it seemed to respond really well and does good. There was one branch off of this that had these strange yellow spots, and I did put it on Instagram, and there was a girl who messaged me, but she told me that it's a fungus, and I looked it up, so I kind of got a little freaked out and I left it in here for a while. I was like, I'm just gonna wait and see. Then I started thinking, you know what, I'd rather just take it out and put it in its own little container and not worry about it contaminating the rest of the plant. Once I did that, this plant's being totally fine and doesn't show any other signs of whatever that fungus was, if that's what it is, and it's doing great. And I have it right here next to my Hoya Chelsea, right in front of the window, and it's happy and healthy. And let me just show you the one funky piece that I separated out. Okay, so here is the little arm that I took out. It does still have those strange little yellow spots, but I just decided if it's gonna be funky or something's wrong with it, just let it be in this little pot by itself, and it's done fine. So, you know, I think it would have been okay to leave it, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And now I have a tiny little one that, you know, has some kind of weird yellow spots on it. Here are my two little babies from my mother plant that is outside, and these have done really good. I actually rooted these in water, and it took a while. It did take a little while, but they're good, and I just have them in these two little starter pots, and you know, I might give these away or just add them to my collection. I do want to propagate my Hoya Chelsea right here, and I'm gonna try the Ziploc bag method instead of the water this time. You basically just fill a large 1 gallon bag of really wet soil, and you put your cuttings down in there, blow it up, seal it up so it's like a little terrarium. And that's what you do. You refresh, you know, the air in there every so often, and I think they root better and it's easier. So I'm gonna try that instead of doing the water method. And next up is this adorable little single leaf Kerrii eye. And if you guys know anything about Kerrii eyes, you know that a single leaf Kerrii eye will not produce a vine. It'll just stay alive. It'll always stay alive just as a leaf. So don't get your hopes up if you see this. you have to have something that has at least a node on it in order for it to, you know, vine out and grow anymore. But this is on the top of my wish list. A Hoya Kerrii and an Abavada I really, really, really want. If you know of a place I can get one online, please let me know. I was watching one on eBay and it went for super reasonable and I missed out, and I've been beating myself up for that ever since then. But in the meantime, you know, I got this cute little single leaf and hopefully I can keep him alive. He was starting to look a little yellow, so I planted him up in this. But yeah, here he is, and it's a little heart. Come on, isn't that so cute? Okay, you guys, I just ran out to my porch and I went and picked up this huge Mama Jamma and this big Hoya Cardosa tricolor or Crimson Princess is giant, okay? But here it is, check it out. Oh. Hold on a second. Hello? Just filming a video. What are you doing? Bye. You know who you are. Okay, so anyways, excuse me for that. But this one is doing so good and it is so happy and huge and healthy. I'm telling you, this thing is giant. I probably need to cut it down by half and propagate all this. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, it's happy, it's healthy, and what else do I need to say about it? Just look at it. Isn't it beautiful? One of the things that I found as to why I like Hoyas so much is they grow insane. They just grow like crazy. It's so basic to take care of them. Basically, you just wait until the leaves start shriveling up. I probably water my Hoya, you know, depending on the one out on the porch. This one probably I water every 7 to 10 days. My Hoyas that are inside, I don't water as much just because there's not as much humidity in the air and they don't seem to need it. But a key factor is when the leaves start curling. So you will notice, I did just recently water all of mine, so I can't show you an example, but you'll notice the leaves will start to curl up and kind of get wrinkly, and you can just tell that it's like droopy and sad. It needs a good watering, and honestly I don't water until then. So the ones inside, sometimes I'll go like 2 weeks for my Hoyas inside. This one that's on my sunroom, I do wait longer, but they're so easy to take care of. Honestly, they have been thriving here in my bedroom, which no other plants like it in here. The only other thing that I can get to live in here is pothos, and honestly I was even struggling with that in here for a little bit. So these are such hardy plants. Okay, you guys, I know my collection was small, but it's a start, so I figured I would still show you guys, because maybe by the next time I film one of these it will have doubled, or I can happily show you my Kerrii or my Abavada. A girl can hope, okay? A girl can hope. Any of you guys know of a place on the interweb that I can find a Kerrii or Abavada, please leave me a comment down below or message me on Instagram. If you aren't already following me on Instagram, go ahead and check that out at Peanuts Plants. And yeah, I'll be back at you guys again soon with another DIY, thrifty, planty thing. I know I keep saying DIY, but we left all of our power tools at the in-laws beach house, and we were supposed to go pick them up, you know, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and we didn't do it. So I think we're gonna make a trip down to the beach this coming weekend. So once I get our saw back, I have some fun things planned. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. If you liked this, please hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are the best. Bye.
Dum 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 dum.